You can't be like, oh, a strong and stable Britain, but then be like, I'm not going to debate anyone, I'm not going to do any actual appearances.
As part of Bursting the Bubble, today we've been in Plymouth in the southwest. We're here just a day after the Prime Minister was here, famously not answering the questions of local journalists. Plymouth's interesting because it voted to leave in last year's EU referendum, but the town has benefited from a lot of EU funding. So we've been speaking to young women from Plymouth about how they're going to vote on Thursday.
I'm going to go for Labour. I was originally going to vote for Lib Dem because that used to be the tactical vote down there. But it's really changed in the past couple of weeks.
Why are you voting Labour?
They just seem to be more in touch with what young people want. They're obviously going to fight for the NHS and stuff. Like the things that the Tories want to do to the NHS they're not good. I just don't see any equality under the Tories. I think Labour kind of offers a chance for real change. I think Corbyn offers a chance for real change.
There was a Labour government who introduced tuition fees in the first place.
Yeah, but that was New Labour. I think him and Tony Blair are two completely different breeds of Labour. He's more of a socialist, whereas Labour was, Tony Blair was effectively a Tory in a Labour mask.
And what did you think about the result of the EU referendum?
Kind of a shambles. I don't really understand why it was put to public vote and there wasn't very much information given about it. Cornwall has lost £60 million worth of funding. My degree was funded by the EU, my current job is funded by the EU, the building that I work in is funded by the EU. Like there's massive amounts of funding now there that's just going to go.
How are you going to vote in the election next week?
I'm going to vote Labour, probably slightly biased because I work in the NHS and I can see what's happening to it. But it's just being stretched. There's not enough nurses, there's not enough doctors, there's not enough of anything. You can tell that the funding is gone, you can see the repercussions for patients and for staff as well.
How long have you known you were a Labour voter?
I think I was brought up in a Labour household. My dad has always voted Labour, my mum always voted Labour. Since Jeremy Corbyn has been around, I have become more interested. He stands up for people, he's always kind of stuck to what he believes in. You know, the amount of people that have decided to register to vote, I think is probably down to Jeremy Corbyn.
Apart from the NHS, what are the other things that you are worried about mostly?
University and education. My sister wants to train as a teacher and now she's trying to figure out whether or not she'll be able to afford it. It's either buying her first home or going to university. And I don't think it should have to be a choice.
Do you think young people have it quite difficult right now?
I think we've been brought up in a way that doesn't benefit us. We've been given really limited opportunities and the decision was made by obviously a completely different generation.
I will probably end up voting Labour, but I'm not that keen to. I feel very odd about Jeremy Corbyn, I don't trust him. I know it's good to do protesting, but I think he shouldn't be out protesting and on marches when he has the power to actually change things as the party leader.
What do you think about Theresa May?
I don't like Theresa May. I think she says a lot that she's a feminist, but she doesn't actually do anything for women. If you go, oh, I want to support women, but everything I say is a bit sexist, that doesn't get you anywhere. And she constantly backs Donald Trump, which is so horrible. Because I just think, she supports people who are sexist and horrible, and she shouldn't. And I think her not doing any of the debates is disgusting, and I think that she must be ill or something because she's dropped out of Women's Hour. I feel like she might be ill. You can't be oh, a strong and stable Britain, but then be I'm not going to debate anyone, I'm not going to do any actual appearances.
What would your ideal candidate for Prime Minister look like?
Get someone like Harry Styles, get them trained up with Alistair Darling and I'd say Gordon Brown, and get those people to train them in secret for 2 or 3 years, teach them all this stuff, and then them come out and lead the Lib Dems and be a very charming, very confident, liberal left leader.
Are you worried about the future?
Recently realised that Plymouth is quite racist, and that was a really odd thing to realise for me because the problem is that even the Tories, anything that's anti-immigration is just gonna make everyone feel worse. It's just gonna create more stigma. It's just gonna be a worse environment for everyone.